August 25, 1944. Just after midnight. On a narrow, dimly lit road outside St. Lo, Normandy. Headlights flicker on, then off, then on again, pulsing like a nervous heartbeat in the dark. The smell of hot oil and wet canvas hangs in the air. Somewhere ahead, an engine backfires, sharp as a rifle crack. Every driver flinches. You can almost feel the tension vibrating through the steering wheels. These men aren't charging machine gun nests. They aren't storming beaches. But without them, the war stops cold. Private First Class James Red Ballard, 25 years old, grips the wheel of a GMC CKW 2.5-ton truck, nicknamed the Deuce and a Half. His knuckles are white. His eyes burn from exhaustion. He's been awake for nearly 30 hours. The convoy commander raises his arm. Down it drops. Engines roar to life all at once, a thunderous growl rolling through the hedgerows. One by one, the trucks surge forward, heavy with fuel drums, artillery shells, medical supplies, rations, everything an advancing army needs to keep moving. This is not just another convoy. This is the Red Ball Express. The Allies have broken out of Normandy. Paris has just been liberated. General George S. Patton's Third Army is racing east faster than anyone thought possible. Tanks are outrunning their own supply lines. Infantry divisions are burning ammunition at an unsustainable rate. And now, the entire Allied advance depends on a single, fragile artery of asphalt and dirt. Two routes, one direction only. No stops. From the beaches of Normandy to the front lines hundreds of miles away. The drivers are told the rules in blunt terms. Drive fast. Don't stop. If you break down, pull off or die where you sit. Ballard presses the accelerator. The truck lurches forward, suspension groaning under the weight. The speedometer creeps past limits it was never meant to reach. 60 miles per hour. On roads chewed up by tanks and bomb craters. There are no headlights allowed after the first stretch. German aircraft still roam the skies. Instead, the drivers follow the dim red tail lights of the truck ahead, tiny glowing dots that give the route its name. Red light, red ball, express. The road is chaos. Wrecked vehicles line the ditches, some smashed from accidents, others burned black by Luftwaffe strafing runs. A dead horse lies twisted at the roadside, legs stiff, eyes glassy. Somewhere in the distance, artillery rumbles like a gathering storm. The drivers don't talk. They don't sing. They don't complain. Because every man here knows the truth. If this convoy fails, the advance stalls. And if the advance stalls, the Germans regroup. Ballard passes a military policeman waving traffic through, his white gloves glowing faintly in the dark. The MP doesn't salute. There's no time? Inside the cab, the heat is suffocating. Sweat runs down Ballard's back despite the night air. The truck smells of gasoline and fear. His eyelids feel heavy. Too heavy. He slaps his own face hard. Stay awake. Around him, thousands of trucks are doing the same thing. Hurtling through the night, pushing engines beyond their limits, driven by men who were never supposed to carry the weight of the war on their shoulders. But they are. And somewhere far ahead, American tanks are waiting. Engines idling, guns silent, fuel gauges dropping. If the Red Ball Express slows down, everything stops. Everything. Men the army almost forgot. The road narrows as the convoy pushes east. Ballard's truck bucks violently, tires slamming into a crater half hidden by darkness. The steering wheel jerks hard left. For a split second, the truck threatens to roll. He wrestles it back into line. No one slows down. That's when you notice something else. Something the official histories rarely show. Almost every driver in this convoy is black. Private Ballard is one of them. So is Corporal Willie Jackson, driving 3 trucks ahead. So is Sergeant Luther Grant, riding shotgun with a Thompson submachine gun that's never been fired in anger. These men wear U.S. Army uniforms, but most were never trained for combat. They were cooks, stevedores, labor battalion troops. The Army didn't expect them to be heroes, but the war didn't care. When the breakout from Normandy exploded faster than planners anticipated, the supply system collapsed overnight. Railroads were wrecked, ports were still damaged, pipelines hadn't reached the front. There was only one solution: trucks. Thousands of them, driven non-stop. The Army scraped together anyone who could drive. And suddenly, men who had spent the war loading crates were now racing through enemy territory at breakneck speed, carrying the lifeblood of the Allied advance. Ballard remembers the briefing. No speeches, no medals, just an order. Keep the trucks moving. The headlights stay off now. Only the red glow ahead guides him. The road feels endless, curve after curve, mile after mile. His body aches. His right foot is numb from pressing the accelerator for hours. Then it happens. A sharp bang, like a rifle shot. The truck lurches. The engine screams. Ballard knows that sound. A blown tire. The rules flash through his mind instantly. Don't stop on the road. Don't block traffic. Don't get killed. He fights the wheel, muscles straining, heart pounding as the truck veers toward the ditch. At the last second, he manages to drag it off the roadway, gravel spraying into the darkness. Convoy trucks blast past him, inches away, wind rocking his cab. No one stops. No one can. Ballard jumps out, rifle slung over his shoulder. The night feels suddenly enormous. Too quiet. He can hear his own breathing. Somewhere far away, flares pop, soft white light blooming against the sky. German artillery? Or something worse? He changes the tire with shaking hands, sweat soaking his shirt. Every shadow looks like a sniper. Every rustle of leaves sounds like boots. The Red Ball Express has no escort, no tanks, no infantry columns, just military police at intersections and the hope that speed will keep the Germans from reacting. Most nights, it works, but not always. Ballard finishes the tire change and slams the door shut. He guns the engine and merges back into the flow, heart still racing. Ahead, the red lights stretch on forever. Behind him, another truck sits silent in the ditch. Engine dead, driver waiting for daylight and praying he survives the night. And above it all, unseen but listening, the enemy begins to notice. German commanders are realizing something. The American advance isn't magic. It's fuel, it's ammunition, it's food, and it's all moving down one fragile road. If they can cut it, the war could change. The enemy finds the artery. Dawn comes thin and gray. Mist clings to the low ground as the convoy barrels through a small French village. Stone houses scarred by shell fire, windows blown out, church spire cracked but standing. The road smells of damp earth and diesel. Ballard hasn't slept. His eyes burn. His hands ache. But the trucks keep coming, one after another, as if the road itself is alive. Then the sound cuts through everything. Aircraft engines, not Allied. The pitch is wrong, sharper, angrier. Luftwaffe, someone shouts over the radio. The scream of Messerschmitt Bf-109S dives out of the clouds. You can almost feel the panic ripple through the convoy. There's no place to hide. The first burst of machine gun fire rips into the road ahead, sparks dancing as bullets chew into stone and asphalt. A truck erupts in flame, fuel drums detonating in a rolling fireball that punches smoke into the morning sky. Ballard floors the accelerator. Trucks scatter, some swerving into fields, others pushing straight through the kill zone. Drivers fire rifles upward in desperation, futile, instinctive. A plane roars overhead, so low Ballard can see the black crosses on its wings. Another truck takes a direct hit. The driver never gets out. In minutes, it's over. The fighters vanish as suddenly as they appeared, leaving wreckage and silence behind. Smoke drifts across the road. Burning fuel runs in black streams along the ditches. The convoy doesn't stop. It can't. Military police redirect traffic around the wrecks. Replacement trucks are already on the move. The road closes for minutes, then reopens. The Red Ball Express absorbs the blow and keeps flowing. But German commanders are paying attention now. Interrogations of captured soldiers confirm it. Reconnaissance flights map the routes. Intelligence officers trace the pattern. One-way roads, continuous movement, predictable choke points. This isn't just supply traffic. It's the backbone of the American advance. In General Oberst Walter Model's headquarters, the conclusion is obvious. If they can't stop Patton's tanks head-on, they can starve them instead. Orders go out. Artillery batteries are repositioned near key intersections. Fighter-bomber squadrons are assigned to low-level harassment. Small infantry units are told to ambush trucks at night, hit fast, disappear. For the drivers, the pressure multiplies. Ballard reaches a forward supply dump late that afternoon. Soldiers swarm his truck, unloading fuel and ammo in a blur of motion. Tanks sit nearby, crews watching anxiously as fuel hoses finally connect. One tanker commander grips Ballard's shoulder. "Thought you guys weren't gonna make it." Ballard doesn't answer. He's already turning around. Because the road only flows one way. And there's another load waiting. Back on the return route, he passes a line of wrecked trucks pulled off the shoulder. Some are patched with bullet holes. Others are twisted metal husks. Fresh graves dot the roadside, marked with simple wooden crosses. Names, ranks, dates. Most from the last 48 hours. The Army starts reinforcing the route. Anti-aircraft guns at key points, more MPs, fighter cover when possible. But the distances are vast. The road is long, too long to protect everywhere. Ballard feels it in his gut. The Germans aren't done. They're learning. And soon, they'll hit the Red Ball Express harder than ever, right when the Allies can least afford to slow down. Running on empty. September 2nd, 1944. Late afternoon, near Verdun. The road is choked with dust. Ballard coughs as another truck roars past, its tires throwing up a cloud so thick it blots out the sun. The air tastes like chalk and fuel. His throat burns. They're farther east now than anyone expected, so far that the maps haven't caught up. Hand-painted signs point toward supply dumps that didn't exist a week ago. Everything about this advance feels improvised, stretched thin, including the men. Ballard's hands tremble when he shifts gears. He hasn't slept more than 4 hours in 3 days. Neither has anyone else. The Red Ball Express is moving nearly 12,500 tons of supplies per day. Fuel, ammunition, food, more than the planners believed possible. The trucks are breaking down faster than they can be repaired. Engines overheat. Axles snap. Tires shred themselves on the brutal pace. And now, the nightmare scenario is happening. The fuel is running out, not at the front, on the road. Ballard watches his fuel gauge sink lower with every mile. He knows the math. He's driven this route too many times. If he doesn't reach the next dump, his truck will die right where it sits, blocking the artery, endangering everyone behind him. Up ahead, a line of trucks has slowed. Too much. He slams the brakes, heart pounding. A wreck. 2 deuce-and-a-halfs have collided, twisted across the roadway. MPS are already screaming, waving traffic off, trying to clear a narrow path through the chaos. Every second lost here matters. Ballard feels it, an invisible clock ticking down somewhere far ahead, where tanks sit idle, engines quiet, waiting for fuel that hasn't arrived yet. He inches forward. The gauge dips closer to empty. A sergeant jogs alongside his cab, face streaked with grime. "Keep moving," he yells. "Don't stop." Ballard nods, jaw clenched. The engine sputters. Once, twice. Then it steadies, barely. He clears the wreck and guns it, coaxing the truck forward like a wounded animal. Every vibration feels wrong. Every sound makes his stomach tighten. And he's not alone. All along the route, trucks are dying. Drivers push them off the road, abandon them where they stop, hitch rides when they can. Mechanics work by the roadside, hands black with grease, racing the clock. Some fuel trucks are forced to siphon from others, stealing just enough to limp forward. It's supply cannibalism, because there is no reserve. At the front, Patton is furious. His tanks have reached the Moselle River, a critical barrier on the road to Germany. The enemy is reeling. Momentum is everything, but momentum runs on gasoline. Without it, even the fastest army in history becomes immobile steel. Ballard finally reaches the dump as dusk settles. He coasts in on fumes, the engine coughing as he kills the ignition. Silence. For a moment, he just sits there, forehead resting against the wheel. Then hands are on the truck. Fuel hoses connect. Ammunition is hauled away. The machine lives again. But the look on the officers' faces tells him what no one wants to say out loud. The Red Ball Express is at its limit. The men are breaking. The machines are breaking. And the enemy is watching. If the road collapses now, if even one major stretch is cut, the Allied advance could stall miles short of its greatest prize. And winter is coming. Winter, the breaking point. September 7th, 1944. Nightfall. A forest road outside Metz. The trees crowd in close, their branches clawing at the darkness. The road here is barely wide enough for two trucks to pass. Ballard's headlights flick on for a split second, then off again. Too risky. The convoy slows, engines growling low. This is the stretch everyone fears. German artillery observers have been spotted nearby. Snipers, too. The MPs warned them at the last checkpoint, voices tight, hands gripping rifles. Don't bunch up! The breaking point. September 7th, 1944. Nightfall. A forest road outside Metz. The trees crowd in close, their branches clawing at the darkness. The road here is barely wide enough for two trucks to pass. Ballard's headlights flick on for a split second, then off again. Too risky. The convoy slows, engines growling low. This is the stretch everyone fears. German artillery observers have been spotted nearby. Snipers, too. The MPs warned them at the last checkpoint, voices tight, hands gripping rifles. Don't bunch up. Easy to say. Ballard feels sweat trickle down his spine despite the cool air. His fingers are cramped around the wheel. Every sense feels sharpened to a painful edge. Then the world explodes. A shell slams into the road 50 yards ahead, blasting earth and shattered trees into the air. Another follows, closer. Too close. "Incoming!" someone yells over the radio. Trucks scatter, swerving wildly as drivers fight panic and instinct. A third shell lands behind Ballard, the shockwave lifting his rear wheels off the ground. He floors it. Branches scrape the canvas top. Leaves whip across the windshield. Another explosion rips through the forest, lighting it in orange fire. A truck ahead takes a direct hit. It vanishes in a cloud of flame and splintered wood. Ballard doesn't look back. He can't. stopping means death, for him and for every truck behind him. The shelling lasts less than 5 minutes. It feels like an eternity. When it stops, the forest goes eerily quiet again, broken only by engines and distant crackling fires. One truck burns at the roadside, its cargo detonating in dull, rhythmic thumps. The convoy pushes on. At the next checkpoint, the count is taken. 3 trucks destroyed, 2 missing, 5 drivers wounded, 1 dead. The officers exchange grim looks. This is no longer harassment. It's a coordinated effort. German units are deliberately targeting the supply route now, throwing everything they have at it, because they know time is running out for them too. Ballard pulls into a temporary halt area just before dawn. He shuts off the engine and slumps in his seat. His hands won't stop shaking. Nearby, Corporal Willie Jackson sits on his bumper, head in his hands. His truck is pocked with shrapnel holes. The canvas is shredded. "Thought that was it," Jackson mutters. Ballard nods. So did he. Word spreads quickly among the drivers. Casualties, ambushes, routes under fire. Everyone knows someone who didn't come back last night. And yet, when the order comes, no one refuses. Because the front is hanging by a thread. Patton's forces are stalled in places, forced to pause assaults for lack of fuel and ammunition. The Germans are digging in around key river crossings. Every hour matters, so the Red Ball Express keeps running. Longer shifts, fewer rest hours, more risk. The Army begins pulling in replacement drivers, some barely trained, some who have never driven under fire. They learn fast, or they don't survive. Ballard looks down the road as the next convoy forms up. The red lights flicker on again, stretching into the distance. He feels it now, deep in his bones. They are past endurance. One more hard blow could shatter the route completely. And the Germans are preparing exactly that. The quiet victory. September 16th, 1944. Early morning. Outside Nancy, France. The rain has washed the dust from the road, leaving it slick and dark. Engines hum at a steadier pace now, still fast, but no longer frantic. The red tail lights glow faintly through the mist, calmer somehow. Something has changed. Ballard feels it as he drives. Not relief, not safety. Stability. The Red Ball Express is no longer the only lifeline. Engineers have repaired rail lines behind the advance. New ports are coming online. Pipelines, steel veins buried under French soil, are finally reaching forward. The pressure on the road is easing mile by mile. The Germans are pulling back. Their ambushes grow weaker, less coordinated. Luftwaffe attacks become rare, desperate. The war is slipping out of their grasp. Ballard delivers his load and waits longer than usual before turning around. No one is shouting. No one is running. For the first time in weeks, he has time to sit on the tailgate and drink a lukewarm cup of coffee. It tastes terrible. He doesn't care. Nearby, a group of tankers fuel up, joking quietly, their voices carrying easily in the damp air. Their tanks are moving again, rolling toward the German border. This is the moment the history books celebrate. The breakthrough, the pursuit, the dash to victory. But there are no cameras here. No generals giving speeches, no flags waving. Just tired men and worn-out machines doing exactly what they were never supposed to do, and doing it well enough to change the course of a war. Ballard thinks of the trucks left in ditches, of the graves along the roadside, of the men who drove until they couldn't anymore. The Red Ball Express officially shuts down days later. Its job is done. In less than 3 months, it moved over 400,000 tons of supplies, keeping the Allied advance alive when it should have collapsed under its own weight. Many of its drivers return to obscurity. Some go back to segregated units. Some never receive recognition at all. But the tanks roll on. The front holds. The war continues because the road never truly broke. Ballard drives one last time, slower now, the urgency gone. The red lights ahead fade into the distance, then disappear. And with them goes one of the quietest victories of World War II. A victory not won with gunfire or glory, but with endurance, with hands on a wheel, with a road that refused to die.